everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to be giving you some tips for anyone who is a training teacher. So if you find any of the tips useful, please give this video a like and please subscribe to the channel for more teacher related content. Any links or websites that I mention will be linked in the description box below, and without further ado, let's get on with the video. When you're on placement, planning is a big thing. It takes a long time and you will get quicker at it throughout your time on placement as you get to know the children better and you start to understand the school and how they plan in different ways. There's also so many useful links and plans that have already been created on TES, so please don't think you have to reinvent the wheel. There are resources already there for you and out there, so use them to help you with your planning. I will leave a link to my TES in the description box below, as I put up some of my resources that I struggled to find when I was on placement and I wanted to share them with the teaching community. Another thing is that your lesson plans will get shorter. Now obviously different schools have different requirements, but I found that in first year I was doing like a 4-page lesson plan, whereas compared to third year it was more like a 1-page, more concise, that had like the key information on, but just in a different format. Remember though, your school or university might have a list of non-negotiables. These are things which have to go into your lesson plans without fail, so make sure you understand what they are and put them on every single plan. And finally, make sure that you evaluate your lessons, as this is really important, especially when it comes to meetings with your university link tutor or your mentors. These are the things that are going to help you develop as a practitioner. I will leave a link to my blank lesson plan on my TES site in the description box below. Next up is to stay organised. Now there are different tips and tricks for this. My personal preference is to use Google Calendar. I made a whole other video explaining how to use Google Calendar, and if you want to see an updated version where I explain how I use it as a teacher, let me know in the comment section below. If not, you might want to find that it's useful to write it down, and if you want to do that, I have created and used previously a weekly to-do list. Now this has each day of the week on the left hand side, and it has morning jobs, lunchtime jobs, after school jobs and once home jobs. And this really helped me when I was on my placements, just to break it down as to what I need to do when, so that my next lesson was all set up and ready, or my lessons for the next day were all set up and ready to go. And there's also a box on there for your weekly goals. I will leave a link to this in the description box below. Next up is to take photos of everything. If you see an idea in a classroom you think is fantastic, take a picture of it, because by the time you get to third year, after seeing lots of different teachers and lots of different practitioners and how their displays or classrooms are organised, you will forget. And that's one of the things I regret. I wish I'd taken pictures of the things I had seen so that I could put these into practice in my NQT year. So make sure you take pictures of displays, classroom organisation and anything else that you think you're going to need in the future. Similar to that is to observe as many practitioners as possible. Now if you are doing a 3-year course, you will probably have lots of different placements where you are seeing lots of different practitioners, but I find this is the best way to learn. By seeing different people and how they teach, you are going to be picking up lots and lots of different tricks on the way, from like, it could be behaviour management you pick up from one person, or it could just be the person's persona and their tone of voice and how they speak to the children that you pick up from a different practitioner. Next up is to do the things that you don't want to do. Now I know this might sound a little bit silly, but when you're doing your teacher training, it's really important that you teach the lessons that you feel less comfortable in. Attend things like parent evening you might not be comfortable with, and try and help out with things wherever possible. Now I know these may be things like extra tasks that you might not want to do, but trust me, if you have taught a French lesson in your teacher training, you will feel a lot more confident teaching French when you are the class teacher. Likewise, if you have attended parents evening just to observe, you will feel much more confident being the lead class teacher at your parents evening in your NQT year. It's really important that you get involved as much as possible, even if I know sometimes it feels like you have so many other things to do. The last thing you want to do is volunteer for extra activities, but it will save you stress in the future. Next up is to do an extracurricular activity. So if possible, link to the previous topic. If you have time and you feel like you want to get involved in it, do it, because you get to see children in a completely different light. I helped to run the drama club in my final year, and I saw some children who were quite shy in the class, and they really came out their shell in the drama club. And also when you come to write your application form, then it's an extra thing you can add. Next up, do not be scared of observation. Now I feel like this is something I need to remind myself as I'm in my EQT year, but you will be observed a lot. Now it could be, even if your class teacher is there, they might give you informal feedback, but you will probably have at least one formal observation per week. Now this could be done by your mentor, who might be the class teacher, or it might be the head teacher, for example. But please don't be scared of them, as they are there to help you. Now I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way, you'll feel like you're being judged, and even now it doesn't get any easier, but please remember they are there to help you become the best teacher you can be. Next, as you're going through your teacher training, you will be going to lots and lots of different schools. So I've been in around 6 different schools over the past 3 years of my teacher training, and I would highly recommend making a note of the name of the school and any contacts and email addresses that you made on that placement. This means you'll be able to contact those people once you have left that placement, and say, for example, there might be a job vacancy at that school, you can get in contact with those people. I would also recommend writing a couple of notes about that school, such as if it was an affluent area or the catchment area of the children, the socio-economic dynamics of that school, so you don't forget this later down the line. Moreover, you want to make note of any additional CPD that you have done on your teacher training. You want to create some sort of grid. I will leave a link to a blank one you can get in the description box below that just outlines the course title, the organisation, any qualifications you gained for it, the date and the length of that course. This means when you write your application form, there is an entire box where you have to outline what additional CPD you have attended in the last 5 years. Therefore, if you have this to hand already sorted, you will be able just to lift it from your document and put it on your application form. So this was the first part of the video. Please subscribe to the channel to see the next part of the video, where I'm going to be talking about the university side of teacher training and my tips and tricks for taking notes in seminars and staying on top of your assignments. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and if you found any of the tips useful, please share them and the video with your friends. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.